You're not on the field, court, or ice. You're on the couch. From PG to DC, this is Coaching from the Couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from a hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, pick any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am. Through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Coaching from the Couch. This is your weekly DC Sports edition, and I am your host, CWall. As always, it is my pleasure and actually a whole lot of fun to jump online and give you guys a show and just run down all of the things that are happening in DC sports. Yes, folks, absolutely. Of course, I know there is a DC sports team playing while we're also doing a show. But hey, listen, as you all know, wait a minute, I got to make sure I find it because this is part of who we are on Coaching from the Couch. Check this out. Hey, listen, when is there a dull moment in DC sports? When? Never. That is right. Never a dull moment. So we have to absolutely make sure that we're sharing all of the DC sports news with our DC sports loving family and friends. This week, I think it's safe to say loving. Okay? I think it's safe for right now. So I see you all are checking in. So I'm going to say hello. Of course, the CWall team is all checked in. I see Joy. I see Mazdak. I see Sabrina. I already see folks are saying hello to Mama Waller. So that's always a great thing to shout her out and say hello. You all make sure for certain you are spreading the word, right? Make sure you are liking, loving, and sharing the show. You got to hit those emojis, you guys. And you also have to share the show. So to be very specific on who you need to be sharing the show with, we got a Bowie State update. We got a Caps update. Of course, Wizards, Washington football team. Is everybody ready? Are we all together? Are we all gathered? Make sure I'm gathered. All right. First up this week is Bowie State. Bowie State is yet again the CIAA champions. On this Saturday, they are playing, get this information here, they're playing in the Division II Round 1 football playoffs. Saturday, November the 20th. Okay, at 1 o'clock at Bulldog Stadium. Listen, if you are available, you need to be at this game. You got to be there. You need to be in the building. Shout out to, again, CIAA Football Coach of the Year, Damon Wilson. Shout out to the team. Shout out to the parents, all of the supporters. You know, we absolutely love to see all of it. Absolutely love to see all of it. Now, got to take a quick break to share the message from one of our advertisers, Ruth Max. They are excited to be a part of the Bowie, Maryland community. Roof Max looks forward to serving the community for many years to come. You can visit them at www.getroofmax.com. The number is there as well to learn more and to schedule a free quote. Caps fans, are you in the building? Because check it out. In the last week, the Caps played the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they absolutely beat them down. Now, I'm not necessarily supposed to say that as media, but that's what happened. I said, well, why can't I say that? That's what happened. It was 6-1. I'm just reporting the news. The Caps actually did beat down the Pittsburgh Penguins 6-1. That's what it was. That's what that is in hockey. So check in if you want to give a shout out to the Caps. They also shut out the Kings this week. So the Caps have now improved their season to 10-5. Right? Have to shout out the goalie Samsonov. Listen, his 5th career shutout against LA. He stopped all 34 shots, the most saves he has made in a shutout effort in his career. Another shout out to Garnett Hathaway, who scored all of the Caps' points. So all the good vibes, typically the Caps have a lot of good vibes when they beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. So shout out to them. Now the Caps are still on the West Coast. So this weekend they will take on the Sharks on Saturday and then Seattle on Sunday. It will be late games. You know how those late games are, folks, but make sure you are tuned in. Got another commercial. Of course. Right. But listen, are the Wizards fans present? Because I think it's important that you all be a part of this next conversation. It is very, very important. Check out this commercial from Modernish. Wizards fans, a lot of big news coming out of Monumental Sports and Entertainment. They have announced that General Manager Tommy Shepard was promoted to president and GM of the Washington Wizards, and Chief Planning and Operations Officer Sashi Brown, who is a Hampton alum. I had to throw that in there. Sashi Brown has been promoted to president of Monumental Basketball and special advisor to the office of the CEO at Monumental Sports and Entertainment. So Tommy will continue to be responsible for all basketball decisions for the Wizards, the Capital City Go-Go, and the NBA District Gaming team. The coaching staff, front office, all analytics staff will report to Tommy. Okay, and he will continue to be the sole point of contact for player negotiations. Sashi will lead the various operations for the Wizards, the Mystics, and the Go-Go, including research and information systems, technology, equipment, team communications, finance, facilities, security, and player engagement, and will also oversee Monumental Sports and Entertainment's venue operations. I felt like it was extremely important for me to share that on this show so that everyone knows what they're doing and what their roles entail. Also, the Mystics announced that head coach and general manager Mike Tebow has signed a multi-year contract extension. I think that's dope. If you all didn't know, Coach Tebow is the WNBA's all-time winningest coach. Okay, just earlier this year, he recorded his 350th career win, and he has been named the WNBA Coach of the Year 3 times. So it's exciting that he's sticking with the organization. Also, associate head coach Eric Tebow, assistant coach Latoya Saunders, who, as you all know, is also a player for the Mystics, and assistant general manager Maria Giovanetti have all signed their extensions as well. Whew, that was a lot. That was a lot to keep up with, but that's important. Everyone needs to know who's running these organizations around here, and I'm always happy to share. Also, want to share that the Wizards will be doing their Thanksgiving outreach at the Entertainment and Sports Arena on Sunday. Okay, this is very cool because this is like the first time since the pandemic that the team is able to engage with the community. So, super dope. They're going to be giving out Thanksgiving meals to residents in Ward 7 and 8. So, that's going to be, I already know it's going to be a dope event. Now, whoo, the game is on. The game is on. The game is absolutely on. So listen, tonight, here are the starters. Here are the starters for the Wizards game versus Miami Heat. Is going down right now in Miami. Spencer Dinwiddie is out for right knee maintenance. So he did not play tonight. He's not playing. And also Daniel Gafford is out tonight with a right thumb strain. So, what was this? Last night, we know the Wizards lost to the Charlotte Hornets, and that's okay. That is absolutely okay. Let me just say that. It's all right. It's okay. Now, what's not okay is shooting 42 threes and only making 8. That's not okay. Shooting 42 3-pointers and only making 8, that's bad. That's bad. Now, hey, listen, we all know as the season goes on, there's film, and the Hornets were absolutely prepared for the Wizards. And it didn't necessarily help that the Wizards were consistently sticking with the same game plan, and it just wasn't working out, which to me, because I absolutely am now, we're still getting used to Coach Unseld Jr., but it was interesting to me that it was like, okay, are you going to switch something up? Because basically you didn't. Now, let me say this. The Wizards have already probably performed higher than anyone has expected. So I said to myself, they're either going to lose to the Hornets or the Miami Heat the first time around, if not both games. I would not be alarmed. I'm not alarmed now, given that they did lose to the Hornets. We'll see what happens with the Miami Heat game. But I absolutely want to know from you all with everything. And I saw some of the comments coming through in terms of, are you panicked at all? Right? I always look for the adjustments. And I see a comment here that I want to acknowledge. We're a totally different team. I think the Wizards are going all the way. There's still a lot of excitement. There's a lot of excitement around the team and around what we're seeing. Because see, here's the thing. Now, aside from the game against the Charlotte Hornets, where it was like, okay, they're just, shooting is just terrible. If you please just, stop with the 3-point shooting. And they came out flat. And you have to, for me, sitting there watching it, it wasn't like here we go. We just knew this was going to happen. It wasn't necessarily that. It was, they have fought in several games to come back and win. So I was okay with that one. Now, against the Heat, the Wizards play the Heat Thursday. They play again on Saturday. I think then it's going to be important for all of us to say, okay, how do they measure up against the Miami Heat if they end up going down to the Miami Heat? I think that is definitely something that we all need to be paying attention to. I'm sure Coach Unseld is going to be paying attention to it. I want to say this also, and this is to the comment that I'm seeing here that John Adams has, and I still think they know how to make adjustments. Absolutely. That was absolutely what I was going to talk about and to discuss. One of the things that I mentioned on The Triple W podcast is everyone subscribe to the Triple W podcast, in which I'm honored to be a member of, one of the co-hosts with 3 other credentialed Wizards reporters, is the adjustments. So for me, and I'm always sitting back and I'm trying to learn, I'm always learning and observing people. And I'm like, so Coach Unseld Jr. didn't really make many adjustments. He didn't really do too much. It wasn't necessarily like he was out in the zone or anything, or like he just wasn't there. It was just, let's see how this plays out. Because he would absolutely rip and run through those rotations. Now, I think at the same token, we just saw the players who might have been a little tired. They might have been a little tired, a little worn out. True, it happens. But one of the things that I'm going to continue to say is I read body language, I read nonverbal cues, and it's visibly apparent to me that when the team loses, Coach Unseld Jr. doesn't like it. And it's not like it's still early in the season doesn't like it. It's like we about to miss the playoffs, don't like it. Does that make sense? Like, it's a sense of urgency that goes unspoken because he's so calm. But if you can pay attention to his nonverbal cues, it's there. It's apparent. He's showing disappointment. And as long as I can see that you're showing disappointment, and the team as well, they want to win and they want to continue to gel and they want to continue the fight, then I can live with that, because I'm always going to say, who are you in the face of adversity? And we've seen so far that the team responds pretty well to adversity. Another thing that I brought up on the Triple W podcast, as it's important to bring up here, is coming into this week, the Wizards were in the top 5 of the NBA power rankings. And they were up there amongst the Warriors, right? The Steph Curry-led Warriors, the Kevin Durant-led Brooklyn Nets, the Chris Paul-led Phoenix Suns, and the other 2 teams, the Chicago Bulls, because we got to watch the Bulls, all right? That's the game that I'm waiting on. I want to see the Wizards play the Bulls. I need to see that one. That's the one I'm waiting out on. Let me see how this, let's figure this out. The Bulls and the Wizards. But still, going back to the point of, when was the last time you would see the Wizards in the power rankings? We were talking about that on the show. I brought it up. I said, y'all, we got to look at this right here. Got to look at it hard, good. And I see other comments coming in. Again, I'm going to go back to the point of, who are you in the face of adversity? Okay, you had a bad game. Okay, you weren't there. But when you want to win and when you want to do better and you want to make the adjustments, see, that type of attitude is going to get you far. Not excuses, not excuses. I should have done better. I should have played better. That was a mistake. I need to correct that. I'm okay with all of those things. That's the type of behavior that you want to see in your coaches and in your players. Another thing that I want to mention as I sit in on these press conferences that I think is so important to share with you all. The team talks a lot about trusting each other, trusting the coaches. And one of the things that we've been discussing as media is the importance of the relationship between the assistant coaches and the players. See, the assistant coaches spend a lot of time with the players. Everybody thinks it's the head coach. But even, and this is across sports. Let me share something with this is across sports. The assistant coaches is who spends the most time with the players. The head coach is running the whole operation. He's at the strategic level, right? The big picture level. Sure, the head coach is going to make key decisions, But in terms of who the players spend the most time with is with their assistant coaches. And the fact that Coach Unseld Jr. has operated in that capacity as an assistant coach successfully and effectively, I think that is one of the reasons why we have seen such success in how he communicates with the team and how they then respond. So that's good. That's absolutely good. And we're going to keep paying attention and watching how those things move about, because you all know I'm gonna get on my coaching soapbox because coaching matters. It matters. It's all right to be a nice person, but you have to be able to educate, and you have to be able to empower and motivate and develop in a way that the players respond to you in a positive manner. We're gonna keep seeing how this goes. But I think we know where it's going to go. I ain't going to say too much. I'm not going to say too much. Not. But for the rest of the time, we have Washington football fans. Check in, please. Check in, please. And while you are checking in, we have another commercial. All right, Washington football fans, are you all checked in? Let's get started, you guys. Let's get started. I think I already see some of y'all already in here. Let's see. You are. I see. Of course you are. Of course you all are. All right. So let's start out by looking at the injury report. Take a look at this, everybody. So going into this weekend, everyone's calling it family reunion weekend, or is it reunion? Just maybe it's not family reunion. Maybe it's just reunion. Nonetheless, Carolina looks like they're pretty healthy. Let's see. I'm gonna take a minute here so everyone can take a look at it. Right? Washington football team looks a little banged up, huh? Sure does seem like it. Sure does seem like it. I want to share with you all as well the number of Washington football team coaches and players, or the staff overall, that are from Carolina. Media colleague Nikki Javala from the Washington Post shared this, and I've been holding on to it because I wanted to share it with all of you. So look at this. Look at all of the coaches, front office personnel, and players, all with connections to the Carolina Panthers. Check that out. I mean, it's just Ron just brought everybody with him. That's all that's all that happened. I mean, we knew that as it was happening, but I see your comment, Mike, in terms of when you see it like that, you're like, oh, that's what I did when I saw it. So it's reunion weekend. Again, I don't know if it's family, but it's definitely a reunion, right? Going back to Carolina. And hey, listen, Ron Rivera has a lot of respect down in Charlotte. Absolutely. And what's interesting, I was talking to a colleague down in Charlotte, and what she said to me was, it was almost like, is Cam Newton the king of Charlotte, or is it Ron Rivera? Who's the king of Charlotte? I don't know. But it does appear to me that Cam Newton is ready to play. And hey, let me just say this. Yes, Cam Newton is playing for the Carolina Panthers, but hey, PJ Walker is actually playing pretty solid and decent as well in Carolina. Let's not forget, let's not be so fixated on Cam Newton that we forget that team has another quarterback. They have somebody else playing the position as well that's solid. So this is going to be interesting, to say the least. Of course, we want the team to still build on the momentum of beating Tampa Bay. We want the coaching staff, especially offensively and defensively, because I think it's two things we need to watch. I think we absolutely need to watch Scott Turner. And because with Scott Turner, if I'm talk bad about you, I'm gonna give you some credit when it's due. Scott Turner absolutely responded to what we all know about a Tom Brady-led offense, and that is don't give him the football back. That's what Scott did. So, hey, Scott, let's see what you know. Let's see how you adjust the offense based on what you know about their offense, right? And what you know about their defense. I like that strategic type of thinking. That's smart. That's what you should do. The other thing that needs to be watched, hey, James Smith-Williams, Casey Toohill, y'all up. Montez is out. Everybody knows Chase Young is out. We know that the team has a lot of faith in their depth at defensive line. Let's see how this goes. Let's see what happens. We all might be shocked. I'm not sure, because I think I still can't believe what happened on Sunday, to be perfectly honest with everybody. But it happened. It happened. We all saw it. So listen, another game. I feel like it's always a must win with this team, or is it just me? But anyway, bold predictions. Before we close out, we have to get to bold predictions. Objective, but bold, on what you think will happen in this game reunion festivities game. Now, festivities was being a little extra. It's not going to be a festivity. It's just a game in Carolina on Sunday. Definitely want to see your thoughts. Let me also say this while you all are sharing your thoughts on your bold predictions for this game. Is anybody other than me going to say anything about Joey Sly, the kicker? Okay. I mean, give the kicker some love. Why don't you? Give the kicker some love. Please. So hey, this thing can continue to progress. Absolutely can continue to progress. And you gotta maybe you just feel like you can just take over the world at this point when you beat Tom Brady. I'm not real sure, but Joey Sly was my MVP last week. Did he get the game ball? I wasn't even sure. Listen, you all, as always, there's more to come. There's more to discuss. Now I'm very intrigued on how Scott Turner responds. I absolutely want to see how the defense depth does. And I guess we'll see very soon. Okay, you guys, listen. Thank you. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And I know you all are double booked. Wizards fans are double booked. And listen, I had to tell PR, I got a show to do Thursdays at 7:30. We know, Candy. We'll see you later. Okay, thank you. Just like to remind people, because I think they need to know. But at any rate, you guys, thank you so much. Continue to share this show with your DC sports loving family and friends. I think it's safe to say loving this week. Okay, I really do think it's safe to say that. And you guys, I will see you all very, very soon.
You're not on the field or ice. You're on the couch. From DG to DC, this is coaching from the couch with your host, CWall, delivering coverage for all DC sports teams from the hometown perspective. Nats, Skins, Mystics, DC United, Washington Wizards, Caps, Bowie State.
My name's CWall, I'm a PG girl. Down for my skins, I don't know if you heard. If you like watching sports, then I am your girl. Sit down on the couch if you not on the field. Cold on the ice, picking any sport that you want. Know that I cover it tight. What would you like? From baseball to football and more. The list can go on the whole night. Big shouts out to my HBCU fam. Never forget who I am through the wins and the losses, the highs and the lows. We gotta stay strong, so I stay 10 toes. Make the competition back. The way I kick it, make them mad, man. CWall and we live and direct. Sit back on the couch and relax. Come on.